have to restart again.
No.
All right, everybody. It's so great to have you all here this morning. My name is Freedom Obani Jason, right? And I want to welcome every one of us to this session. This afternoon, we are going to be talking about the AI employee revolution. What every business owners, what every entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, founders need to know in 2026, right? And I'm going to be moderating this afternoon event. Remember, this is iPhone Connect AI, and I want you to do something for me. Whatsoever place you are watching us from, I want you to comment below that place, and also the kind of stuff that you are currently building online. People want to learn from you, also they want to know you, they want to connect with you also. So comment below where you're watching us from live, so we get to know you better. All right. So let's keep it coming. Let's keep it coming. All right. Don't forget, this afternoon we're going to be talking about the AI employee revolution. What every business owner must know in 2026. All right. Let me give us a very quick background study that we need to take note of. Right. I want you to look at your business processes. All right. Even if you have a physical business or digital business, I want you to look at your business processes. You will observe the fact that there is an incorporation of artificial intelligence in your business at the moment, but you might not know about that, right? You might not know about that. But let's be honest, are you really getting value from it? I want you to comment below. Are you really getting value from it? All right, that's cool. Almost nobody in this room is, and that is the kind of gap we are going to be talking about today. Because here is the truth: the businesses that win in the next 10 years, they wouldn't be the biggest ones today. They're actually going to be the ones that are already letting AI to do most of their work for them. All right. But before we proceed, I would love to just let you know that we are currently live on LinkedIn, right? Just on LinkedIn for now, right? So here with me, I have Trinishal Thomas and we have Okoyemi Oyetuji. I'm still going to do a proper intro for them. So we're currently live on LinkedIn. So whatever place you are hearing us from, just comment below. So we'll get to know where you're watching us from. All right, good, 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 good. All right, so here's the truth. The businesses that win in the next 10 years, they wouldn't be the biggest ones that we know today. All right. They will actually be the ones that are already letting AI to do most of their works for them, the most of their repetitive work for them, while everyone else is still doing it manually. And we can see that based on fact, based on statistics. And we can see that from US Chamber of Commerce, according to their reports, as at early 2026, it stated the fact that 89% of small business owners, they are now using AI in some form, and that is just about 36% as at 2023. All right, so the gap is much, like 36% as at 2023, and then 89% as at now, early 2026. So we can see the gap. So if you are still sitting on the fence, you are not really early, you are actually behind. And this gap does not stay the same size, it actually grows. And that is the reason why we are talking about the revolution of AI employee revolution. How every business owners can tap from it, how every business owner can leverage it, what every business owner need to know, all right, as at 2026, all right, as at now. All right. So here with me we have Okoyemi Oyetuji. Okoyemi, can you say hi to the audience? And that is just about the 6% as at 2023. All right. So the gap is like 36% as at 2023, and it's 9%. Okoyemi, can you say hi to the audience?
Hi, everyone. It's good to be here. Thank you very much for having me.
It's so nice to have you, Okpayemi. Okpayemi is actually from iPhone Connect AI, right? And he's going to be showing us how businesses are actually using AI right now. And here with me, I also have Finishal Thomas, who is from Mercury Careers. She's going to be showing us how businesses need to redesign themselves now that AI exists. Finishal Thomas, can you say hi to the audience?
Hi, everyone. Happy to be here.
It's so nice to have you both here. Thank you so much for honoring the invitation. Right, so let's get into it. The first thing we're going to be talking about is the competitive reality, and I want us to be very practical, right? I want us to be very practical as possible. Why? Because Right now, a lot of businesses, they're actually still waiting to deploy AI into their businesses, into their workflows, into their whatsoever tasks they're actually doing manually, right? Thinking that they don't have to rush it, right? Thinking that they still need to wait. Probably the new AI is still coming or thereabout, right? But studies this year shows us that AI agents are now cutting operational cost by 30 to 40% for businesses that deploy them. And my question is going to go to Okoyemi this way. Okoyemi, what does it actually cost a business to wait on full deployment? What does it cost a business to wait before they fully deploy AI into their workflows? Okoyemi, you have the floor.
Okay, thank you again for having me. I would like to start by using the popular statement that delay is dangerous. So, delay is dangerous and waiting is costly, right? We are already not in just a revolution, but in a reality. And it is imperative of us as founders, as business owners, to wake up to that reality because things have now evolved beyond what they used to be. Now, it is quite expensive, right, and dangerous for businesses to hold on and say when AI comes, because by the time you wake up, AI has gone beyond what you ever imagined. So, businesses that are using AI right now and those who are using the wait and see approach, right, they have a very wide gap. So the cost of waiting, right, is always efficient, in your realities. I mean, your operational realities, the cost that you spend, and your effectiveness of your business. So it is quite expensive to do the wait and see because by the time you want to see, it has gone beyond what you think. So it is a revolution, it is a reality, and every leader must wake up to that reality. Not waking up to it means that your competitors will have an edge over you, and you don't want that to happen. Thank you.
Freedom.
Could you repeat that, please?
Thank you so much,
Yes.
Okoyemi, for that. And we can hear from what Okoyemi has made mention of. He stated the fact that your competitors are going to be ahead of you, right? Why? Because you are not deploying AI into your workflows. Why? Because you are still operating manually, right? Thank you so much for that, Okoyemi. And I want Trinisha to actually challenge that, right, in this light. Renisha, do you think the reason why a lot of businesses are yet to deploy AI, do you think it is as a result of seeing it as a tool, like as a tool problem, or as a leadership one? What is your thought about that?
Thank you. I'd definitely say that it's a leadership problem. Businesses are still asking questions like, which AI tool should I buy? The better question is, which parts of my business no longer need to depend on manual effort? And that is entirely a leadership decision, not a technology decision. For years, we've measured organizations by headcount, management layers, departments. Increasingly, we'll measure them by speed of decision making, quality of execution, adaptability. And that's where competitive advantage is moving. One of the biggest changes inside Mercury Careers wasn't that we suddenly became more productive, it was that we gained the strategic capacity to think differently. AI reduced the time we spent gathering information, researching regulation, analysing workforce trends, and producing drafts of documents. That gave us the capacity to ask bigger questions like, where is the sector heading? What pressures are providers going to face next? How do we evolve our business to solve those problems? That's ultimately what led us to reposition Mercury Careers from being primarily known for recruitment to becoming a workforce stability consultancy focused on leadership, governance, and organizational resilience. AI didn't change our direction, it gave us the capacity to pursue it.
Thank you so much for that, Trinisha. We can hear what Trinisha said. she said it is actually not a true problem, but a leadership one. Why? Because leaders still have to make the kind of decisions, right, on the kind of tools to accept or probably to deploy AI into their businesses. That's to come from leaders themselves, right? And this is going to lead me to the second theme, right, of this particular session, which is about the gap of ownership, right? The ROI, return on investment, because a lot of businesses are actually scared to deploy AI. Why? Because of the cost. And they are still trying to view it in the lens of, if I'm having an AI, if I'm having an employee, why do I need an AI? All right. And considering the fact that I need to pay my employees their salaries and I still have to pay for an AI to do what they can do, that is waste of funds. So we want to talk about the return gap. We want to talk about the ownership, right? And this is based on facts. According to 2025 PageOut Duty survey, we found out that a lot of businesses that fully deployed AI, they are averaging about 171% return on investment, right? Return on investment. And I want Opeyemi to give us a real picture on this, based on the operational side of things, right? Opeyemi, what do you think would be the gap between a business that has fully deployed AI and one that has not deployed AI? So I want you to give us a quick overview on that. Okay, Opeyemi, you can unmute.
All right, thank you very much. I would really give some terminologies to this sector of businesses. The ones who are using AI, right, are the ones who are smart. So I'll call them smart guys. And the ones who are waiting are the wait and see kind of people. Um, the latter, those who are waiting to see, right, they face a measurable financial leakage every single quarter, across specific operational vectors in their business. Customer management, data management, social media marketing, different aspects of operation. So this is the reality that they face, is a financial leakage. And what do I mean by that? You see, when a competitor uses AI agents to automate their workflows, automatically you will stop a premium, for premium payment, for manual labor or things that you do repetitively. So if there are things that you do manually that you have to control, you have to do them at certain times, and they all depend on humans. You'll be spending so much more, more than businesses that have all these things automated. I'm going to give you a very clear example now. I've got a media or maybe a customer care agency. I'm just putting that up. And typically, because of the influx of calls that I receive, I have 10 people having to answer those calls, right? And these people, when they close or when they go on break, no call comes in. When they close, no conversation, right? We have also the tendency of being bashed by the network, the internet provider, where the internet goes off and nobody is able to receive a call. Imagine the amount of people who are calling at that very particular time and how quickly we are going to lose that. But in a scenario whereby I don't have 20 people, I don't have 50 people seated, but I have an AI agent that picks over 1,000 calls at once and is intelligent to attend to my clients, right? Funnel them through the right process, give them the link to register, they register, and doesn't sleep and doesn't go on break, doesn't face traffic. Now, if I am spending £2,005 on each employee times 10, right, it's going to give me £25,000. That's just a basic reality. Now, I am spending £2,005 on one AI agent. Now, how much have I saved? I have saved 90% of my normal cost. Now, that 90% multiplied by 1 year, the figure, I think you should calculate that, so that figure alone is enough for me to, create an expansion of my business. So, according to the recent data by Maverick, and what AI, every single employee that is spending just 2 hours, 2 hours every day within 24 hours, every single employee that is spending 2 hours on a day, on something that is automatable, right? That's something that is automatable, or any basic workflow that we can do. It will cost that company approximately £20,000 Yeah, in reclaimable value. I mean, if I don't spend that money on that repetitive task and I spend it on automated task, there's a difference, repetitive and automated. And I spend it on automated platform or system, I am saving £20,000 per year in a reclaimable. So it is reclaimable. The choice is now for me to make whether I want to still save the money, expand, or want to continue to spend. So there is a wide gap in terms of finance, in terms of efficiency as well, right? Companies that are adopting AI are faster and efficient, right, in capturing the leads. But companies who are not, who are manual, they always wait till the next line of action and they could fail. The person to send an email could be sick. The person who wants to call a client might have network issues, but this doesn't happen in an automated kind of system. So it's a very wide gap, and they are tangible and intangible. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much for that. But we are still going to go deeper into this, and Trinisha is going to be the one to probably argue on that, right? Because now we are looking it at the lens of this in this light, because I believe that a lot of employees also, they're actually watching us live right now, and they are scared that they might actually lose their jobs, right? Employers can actually fire them. Why? Because AI is already doing their work, right? So Trinisha, from your leadership experience, I want your honest take on this. Why? Because a lot of founders, they want to keep their people, they love their people, right? And the employees, they are scared. Why? Because they believe that if the leaders, like the founders, adopt AI, it means that they become irrelevant in that particular organization. So do you think that this is actually profitable, number one, for founders? And why do you think employees should not be scared about that? So let's say from you, Tanisha.
Thank you. I think that founders can absolutely retain the employees that they have by still adopting AI. So I just want to alleviate that fear. Now, obviously, AI is going to replace some tasks, that's inevitable, but it's not about replacing people. It's about redesigning where people create value. The businesses seeing the biggest returns aren't necessarily employing fewer people. They're making better use of the people they already have. And what that looks like is leaders should ask the questions such as what requires judgment in your business, what requires relationships, what requires expertise, and protect those things. And then everything else that's repetitive, just as Opiomi mentioned, that's what you challenge. And those are the things that you can automate. At Mercury Careers, AI hasn't created a lack of employment. It's actually allowed us to become more, have deeper relationships with our clients because we're spending less time on those repetitive administrative tasks and more time understanding their businesses, their workforce challenges, their compliance pressures, and the strategic decisions they're trying to make. And that's where our clients really see the value. And they need someone at the end of the day who understands those workforce risks and what that actually means for their organization. So I think employees should think about how they can utilize AI to provide more value to the businesses that they're a part of. And founders should look at answering some of those questions so that they can really 10x the value that their employees are creating for their businesses.
Oh, that is actually a very beautiful one. We have to look at it from the lens of judgment. And I think to every employees that are currently watching us live, it is not about it's not about you any longer. It's about those who actually knows how to use AI versus those who don't. So I think that is one key takeaway we can actually take from this. So if you don't know how to leverage AI to at least get things done faster, it means that you need to learn how to do that. Why? Because you can only be effective to the degree that you know, right? Your level of efficiency is dependent on what you know, right? So it is very important. And we are still going to go deeper into this, right? And we are going to be going deeper into the future aspect of it. And I'm going to be starting with you, Trenisha, because a lot of people, right, they think that the full adoption of AI means that they need to remove humans completely. right? We've touched a little about that, so I just wanted to build more on that. But according to 2026 report by QuickBooks, right, they found out that a lot of businesses are actually using AI now, like 4 times more likely than before, right? And they could prove that it's actually led to certain cuts of unnecessary expenses, and it leads to underemployment. Why? Because they see it as having to fire a lot of employees. Like a lot of employees lost their job right here in 2026, right in 2026 as a result of the revolution of artificial intelligence. So I want to ask you, what have you personally handed over to AI? And why do you deliberately keep humans behind it? And here's a practical case example. There was a situation that happened in the United States based on research. There was this guy who was very competent. He submitted his CV as a front end and a back end developer. Meanwhile, the artificial intelligence that was used for that job placement has been programmed in such a way that it can only accept a front end developer. Meanwhile, this guy is actually the best fit for the job, but because he submitted a CV that has both front end and back end, he was actually rejected by the AI. So that is where the question comes in. What have you personally handed over to AI? And why do you need to keep human behind that particular judgment, that particular thought process? Why don't you just leave it like that? So you have the floor, Trinisha.
Thank you. So firstly, I'd like to say I use AI every single day. But it's not to replace my thinking, it's to accelerate everything that sits around my thinking. As many founders on this can probably relate, you can very easily become the bottleneck. Every decision, every approval, every idea, every problem eventually lands on your desk at your feet. AI hasn't removed me from the business, it's removed unnecessary dependency on me. So I regularly use AI for things like research, analyzing large volumes of information, identifying patterns, brainstorming, even challenging my own thinking. It gives me greater efficiency, but more importantly, greater capacity. And I think to your point of where you was talking about the individual that applied for the role, there are certain things that you should never delegate to AI. So me personally, when it comes to strategy, commercial judgment, client and candidate relationships, difficult conversations, even though we would all love to pass those over, um, and final decision making. Those are all leadership responsibilities. I think one of the biggest examples that we have is how we've evolved over the last year just alone. AI really helped us analyze market trends and regulatory developments far more quickly. But it didn't decide that Mercury Careers should evolve into workforce stability consultancy. That strategic judgment remained entirely human, and AI just accelerated that journey. It didn't choose the destination. So, founders, anyone on this call, AI shouldn't replace expertise. It should multiply the impact of that expertise.
Just before we bring Trinisha down, yes, she said something that was actually catching, and that is the fact that there are some tasks that we cannot delegate to AI. So there are some that she always has to make decisions on as a founder. So now I want to ask the question, if as a founder you have like so much tasks to do and you have so much decisions to make in a day, how can AI actually help to make those decisions in a situation whereby definitely you can't speak yourself, but you have to make so much decisions in probably various aspects of your business, and you already have like the output from AI and you want to make like human decisions, but then you are so fragmented, you are all over the place. How can you then use AI to actually help smoothen the work and help make it easier? Because you said you always have to, intervene.
Yeah. I think from my perspective, especially more recently, my workload has increased crazily. So I've had to use AI even when it comes to helping me put those things in order of priority. Because sometimes, again, as a founder or even business professional, you can get, I'd say, cognitive overload of everything that's coming at you at once. And it can fragment your thinking over what you should prioritize when. And you can become quite reactive. And so I think in those situations, AI, because it will understand your strategy of what you're trying to achieve either in that quarter or in that year, it's going to, without emotion, um, provide a recommendation or analysis to say these are the things that you need to focus on 70% of your time or 50% of your time. The other tasks, it's not to say to neglect them completely, but it's to put it into perspective in terms of what you want to achieve as a business. And that's what I've had it doing for me more recently in order to get through all of those overwhelming tasks that are coming at me at once.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for that, Trenisha. Like to also build upon that, I want us to be very practical this time around, right? Because someone watching us right now, they're actually running an effective business, right? And a lot of them are still doing it manually, still having to attend to customers manually, still having to send emails manually, still having to call customers manually. They're still doing everything manually, right? And according to research, it was stated that the adoption rate of AI has jumped from 36% to 89% in just 3 years, right? And the businesses that moved early are now the ones that are setting the pace. Why? Because we have the early adopters. Of course, the early adopters are well known today, right? And we are currently amongst the late laggards. That is those who have not deployed AI, those who are still operating manually. They are called the laggards. They are not even amongst the late adopters. They are the laggards today, right? So, Trinisha, I think that we need to answer a very crucial question, which is before AI can actually deploy, before businesses can deploy AI into their businesses, what is the first thing they need to redesign, right? What is the first thing that they need to redesign and not buy in their businesses today? So I want to hear your thoughts on this.
Thank you. I would say that you need to redesign your work. And what I mean by that is every founder should map exactly how work actually moves through your business. Ask yourself 4 questions. What in your business creates value? What creates delay? What requires human judgment? And what simply requires completion? Everything in that 4th question can become a candidate or a potential candidate for AI. And one question that we've started asking is, what should anyone in our team never have to spend time doing again? And every time that question gets answered, we end up spending more time with clients. So that's the goal at the end of the day. If I could ask every founder to do one thing this quarter, spend just one afternoon mapping exactly how work flows through your business. Don't start with AI, start with understanding your business and what those workflows will look like. And you will see the incredible value that that will bring for you.
Thank you so much for that. And I'm going to be throwing this question also to Okpeyemi, right? Okpeyemi, if you look at it right now, a lot of business owners are actually confused that, okay, well, I'm hearing about AI, I'm hearing about AI agents. How can I actually deploy it into my business? All right. And most of them have heard about platforms like Goa Level, I've heard about platforms like iPhone One, right? They've heard about several types of platforms, but they are still considering the fact that, okay, these platforms are costly, right? And they are still considering the fact that they don't even know how to do it at all, right? So from the iPhone side of view, because I believe that you're from iPhone Connect AI, and iPhone Connect AI is also an AI platform, right? So I want you to talk from the lens of you from iPhone Connect AI. right? How businesses can actually adopt AI into their businesses today. That to get started now, how do you think they can get started with iFin Connect AI? And what do you think iFin Connect AI? What kind of what was it called? The speed that's going to give to them. Talk about the customer inquiries. Talk about the kind of time, right? Talk about the cost also. So I'll get to learn from this from the iFin side of you.
All right, thank you very much. I think I want to give an impression. And the impression is that you mentioned what businesses need to do to adopt, right? So AI in the real sense now has passed the stage of adoption rather than a stage of being employed. So because at iPhone 1, we don't see AI as a tool or a system. We rather see it as a solution that is humanized. So we call it an AI employee. So I am employing an AI into my business. So when we change that perspective of AI being a tool, it would mean, oh, how do I subscribe? How do I buy? How do I register? No. It is how do I employ an AI employee into my business? Right. So that's said. Now, the effectiveness of iPhone 1 for context, iPhone 1 is the solution we built we created for business owners, founders, large corporations, SMEs, whatever scale of scale your business in the ladder. Right. So it's a solution built to help businesses run efficiently, automating their manual tasks and giving founders the value that they desire, right? So when I ask people, I'm going to bring this scenario. I love analogies a lot. Now, most times when I ask people that now, out of the 10 tasks that you perform every day, if AI could take 2 for you every day, what does that period that AI is working, what does it mean to you? I mean, I've got 24 hours to spend or 18 hours to spend at work, and AI is taking 2 hours from that day. So what are you going to do? I found many of them saying, I would rest, I'll sleep, I'll call my friends, I will hang out with people. It means these are things that they wanted to do but could not do. Why? Because the business operations largely depend on them. But when an AI picks it up, they find the value in what they always want to do. Now, iPhone 1 has come to fill that gap, giving people the opportunity and affording them the leverage, to be able to focus on things that matter to them. So you employing an AI employee that automates your repetitive tasks, your customer inquiry, your appointment booking, your logistics management, your finance, even your community. When you have a community of people and you want to manage them, it does that. Your social media marketing, every aspect of your business has been put in place for this solution to manage for you. So in terms of value, when you have this adopted, so we tell businesses that, just as Trinisha said, that founders need to sit down and look at those things that steal their time, that steal their joy. Let me use joy. Those things that steal their joy, that steal their time, that steal their relaxation. So look at those things and write them down and say, what value will these things give to me if I channel them to an AI? It means that the value in terms of intangibility are the things that you will enjoy when AI does that for you. So we put that, and then we have created this solution to allow businesses to focus. So an AI and iPhone 1 is called an all-in-one AI-powered system, that powers things for you. You need to change things on your website. You need to design a website. You don't need a website designer. iPhone 1 is designed to do that for you. You want to create content and post across social media platforms, 15 social media platforms at once. iPhone 1 does that, right? You want to automate appointments, get reminders, send reminders, automate consultations. iPhone 1 does that. You want to manage invoices. You don't have to chase people manually. Set an invoice to you. You are yet to pay. iPhone 1 does that automatically. So just train your employee and she runs that automatically every day, every time, at the time that you have scheduled it to be. So this is an open system, not an open source, So, so it is a system that is open to every business at all levels. So, yeah, that's the solution that we have and the value that we give to people. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that insight, Okoyemi. And I believe that a lot of business owners, founders that are watching us right now, they already have a brief insight on how AI can actually be deployed into their business, into their operational workflows, in terms of invoices, in terms of marketing, in terms of sales, right? Those segments are very important. In terms of tech, right? It is very important. We take note of that as businesses. But I'm still going to throw this question to you, Okoyemi. Why iPhone? Why not others? Why iPhone? Why not others? Right? Because I believe that there are other better platforms out there that are currently using AI. So I wanted to tell us why iPhone actually stands out amongst many other platforms. All right, because a lot of business owners right now, they are total newbies and they want to get started with AI today. Right? They want to start deploying AI today, and they are looking for the best teachable platform that they can actually leverage on right now. So I wanted to shed more light on that.
All right, thank you very much.
OP, yes. So before you also on that, you also mentioned something that's employees and then AI as well. I also want to say that with normal human beings, we can actually interview them and decide on who to recruit based on how strong they are, based on how intelligent they are, based on how we perceive that they would bring in value to the company. Is there a point where, because everybody knows ChatGPT, everybody knows Claude, and that is what they use, and as a business owner, I want to be able to have something that I can actually train, or something that actually also has and human training or something along that line. So is there any point or anything or any system where we can actually interview and recruit AI to actually work in businesses as of today? Thank you.
All right, thank you those are very strong questions. All right, so like I shared with initially, I'm going to pick up from my last statement when I said iPhone 1 is an all-in-one AI-powered solution. I was deliberate to use the word all-in-one. Right. So when founders right now, of course, there are many tools that people use to do a couple of things. Okay, I need to automate follow-ups on my social media. I'm using ManyChat. I need to book appointments. I'm using Calendly. I need to post on my social media. I'm using Instagram. I'm using Meta. I need to ask intelligent questions. I'm using ChatGPT. I'm using Claude. Now, those are pieces of tools. And when you look at a founder who has all of these tools, like 10 or 20, even QuickBooks or other financial platforms, for every department, you've got one or two tools or software that they use. And then when you look at the cost of renewing all of these tools or maintaining them, it's very expensive. Now, what we did and what made iPhone 1 an all-in-one system is that it can do all of these things. So as a founder, right, you are not facing the battle of juggling between multiple applications, drawing analytics or insights from different platforms, but you have everything in one platform. So I need to use ChatGPT to ask questions. We have a feature called conversational AI, where right on your system, you can ask questions. Right on iPhone 1, you can ask questions that you would ask ChatGPT normally. We have a system called AI Studio, where instead of having to use WordPress or use any other tool to build my website, right on iPhone 1, I can give a simple prompt and my website will come up. Right. I need to automate my social media posting on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on different tools that I have. Instead of having to log into Instagram, post there, log out, post on LinkedIn, log out, post on this, log out, doing all those things, I have a system, a feature called Social Planner. So that Social Planner has about 7 to 10 social media platforms that can be connected to the system. So in other words, when I put one post, I can tell you to put on all, as long as I've connected my social media platforms, I can select all the social media platforms. I put one post, I schedule, and it goes on all of them at once. I can do an instant post, right? So I don't need to juggle between many apps. Oh, I need invoices. Oh, I need calendar appointments. You don't need Calendly anymore. You are iPhone 1, you don't need Ionos, you don't need Bluehost, you don't need MailChimp. You are sending all everything from one area. You need to send bulk SMS, you need to send bulk emails. You can do all that. You can select 1,000 clients and send one email to them and it will go at once. So the value that iPhone 1 brings is that everything sits in one area and you don't have to juggle between multiple apps. So that's what our business owners will get today.
All right, that's actually a very fantastic breakdown, right? Because a lot of business owners are confused up till now, but you've shed more light on
Sorry.
that. And
Sorry, I remember that Christina asked how you can train or employ your AI because I use the word employment, right? So now, this scenario is like we put out a vacancy. What we are doing now is like a vacancy, that your company needs, this is a reality. Your company, as a founder, needs an AI employee. Now, your decision to employ that AI employee is you talking to us. Now, when you have that AI employee employed, through us, right? In a normal scenario, you would train your real employee. So you will train your AI as well to understand your brand guidelines, to understand your language, to understand your features, your product, to understand scenarios, and then it will operate just like you're onboarding a new client. So, Christiana, that is you employing and training your AI and giving it tasks to do. Thank you very much. I remember that.
all right, thank you so much for that. Finisha, do you want to talk about it also? Do you want to contribute to that?
Yeah, I definitely see the value in what OPME was saying. I mean, the number of tools that are out there to use, and it can become extremely difficult when you have to juggle between all of these platforms. And if you're a small business owner or a solo founder and you're really trying to get things off the ground, it can be really hard to compete with the larger, bigger businesses with everything that you need to do, marketing, networking, financial systems, forecasting. Like it's too much. To have everything in one platform and to have an AI employee that can actually support you. I mean, I've already spoken to how I utilize AI, and I definitely do see the value, and the platform sounds incredible.
All right, thank you so much for that, right? And I have a question for you, Trenisha, right? Because a lot of business owners have been asking the same question, that if AI is so good, then why do most projects fail? Why do most businesses still fail after deploying AI? So what is your take on that?
I would say that could be in the prompt. So I know a few businesses at the moment that have been trying to utilize AI for sales and making outbound sales calls. But just like OPME said, you have to train the AI. You have to teach it about your business. You have to teach it about your service lines, about the everything that you're offering, about your pricing, that any kind of question that the client or potential customer may ask. And if you don't train it well, prompt, then it's not going to communicate in the way that you need it to communicate. And so taking the time to actually train the AI in the same way that you would train an employee, and I'm sure many of the people on this live will have noticed in how they've used ChatGPT or Claude or any other LLM out there. Over time, it gets smarter, it understands you more, it understands your business more, because you've taken the time to give it more and more context over time. So I would say it's in the quality of the prompt and the knowledge or brain that you're supplying to it.
Thank you so much for that, Tanisha. That's actually a very beautiful response, and I believe that a lot of business owners already gain insight to that. Now, to Okoyemi, So, Payemi, from this light of view, right? What about the data of businesses? Do you think it's gonna get leaked, right? Because a lot of businesses are concerned about their data, like data privacy. Like they believe that if they're deploying AI into their businesses, it means that they are handing over their own businesses or to a system that they don't even get to understand the back end of it, right? So, what is your take on that in terms of data privacy?
All right, thank you very much. Just taking a cue from Tunisia as well. I love to take cues, really. Okay, so I just want to first buttress on a point, regarding deployment of AI and why businesses are failing. I think one thing that people should take away from here is that we are not inviting you to deploy AI for deployment sake or for AI sake, right? It is being conscious. Less deployment of AI, it is quite expensive, right, to wrongly deploy AI. So the cost optimized strategy is not to just deploy AI blindly everywhere. Oh yeah, I just want to use AI. I just want to use AI. When you're doing that for the sake of building AI, you are going to get frustrated. So the correct part is just to pick one high friction and highly measuring process and establish clean data pipelines. So when it's clean, train your AI and begin to scale rather. Now, to the issue of data protection, right? So when you have your AI trained, right? Taking from that, when you have your AI trained, your AI is able to understand what matters most to you. And for iPhone 1, one of the key things that we are particular and mindful of is data, because we use this word very well that data is king, and we believe that data is a priority in every business, and as such the privacy of that data, right, is a priority to us. Now we've got our privacy policy, to let people understand how compliant we are. So we are GDPR compliant to data protection, right? So we are 100% compliant to that. And in terms of data protection as well, it always has to do with the external and the internal aspect of it, right? From our own end, as external implementers of this AI system, you know, we protect people's data because we are bound to do that. And we have regulations that are guiding our protection of data. Nobody internally has access to your data. That's one thing. Now, internally as well, because we have seen many situations where people come to us to say, this data, and we realize that they are given permissions. That's why I said reckless, deployment of AI can cause leakages. So there are times that you give permissions to those you are not meant to give permissions to. So when we are deploying AI or artificial intelligence, deploying iPhone 1 into businesses, we ask founders that who has the right to see what and to what extent. Some should be able to view and not to manage. Some be able to manage and not to view. So if I'm an accountant that I'm dealing with finances, I don't have anything to do with website design. I don't have anything to do with social media posts. So my permissions will be. So these are the things that we put in place. So when we do that, we are conscious of the roles, even internally and externally. So for every business that we encounter or that comes to us, we ask them and we configure, we train the AI in that line to protect the data from internal forces, and also external force is guaranteed because that is us and we are bound to do that. But internally, we help founders to mitigate data leakage. Yeah, so 100% sure from us.
All right. All right, thank you so much for that talk, me. I won't be buttressing on that part, but I want Phoenicia to actually sit from this lens of view. It's gonna sting a little, right? But a lot of businesses are like, isn't it too early for them to get started with AI? So I want to hear from Tradition, from the leadership point of view. Do you think that it's too early for businesses to get started with AI? Don't you think that they still need to wait until it is more proven? Why? Because we're having different AI models every single month. Like almost every single month, we are seeing new AIs out there. And a lot of businesses are confused. Like, I think I still need to wait. Don't let me get started with AI, right? So I want to hear from Trenisha, from your own point of view. What do you think about this? Do you think they still need to wait, or what else do you think they need to do?
Thank you. Absolutely not. I think that there are always going to be technological advances. If we take this outside of AI, for instance, technology evolves every single day. Every system that we use today, every tool that we use today, was different to what was out even 5 years ago, 2 years ago. AI is going to continue to evolve, and just like um, all businesses out there, there's going to be more and more competition. So there's going to be more LLMs. They're going to get smarter. They're going to be able to do different things. That doesn't mean that you should wait and see, because if you take that kind of approach in outside of AI, then you would be waiting to use uh, I don't know, certain financial tools that could benefit your business and so forth. So I would say, going back to what I had mentioned earlier, look at your work processes and see what in the work that you're doing that you can actually move over to AI, uh, and automate those tasks, and choose a platform that is going to give you and your team the most value so that you can do um, the work that brings your business the most value, such as better relationships with your clients.
Thank you so much for that, Trenisha. I wanted to ask you one more question, but I'm going to probably give either Okpayemi or you the floor to actually answer it. And the question goes to us: how do I know I'm not just paying for a tool, right, that becomes useless in 6 months' time when the next AI comes into view? Like, a lot of businesses are scared that the next AI might come. So if I'm using this particular AI now, what if it becomes useless in the next 6 months? What should I do? So who would love to answer first? We hope you
I don't
answered.
mind going.
Okay, okay.
Yes, I would say that again, all platforms and technology evolves over time. You have to look at how you can get the most value out of any platform or AI that you're using and utilizing. I think when it comes to uh, what that might look like 6 months from now, that shouldn't affect the decision that you're making today, because you have no idea how the platform that you're utilizing now will evolve in the next 6 months. These AI platforms are evolving incredibly. The developments that they're doing just in the space of 6 months is incredible, and you don't want to miss out. And I think that it should be something that you at least test in one or two areas of your business.
Thank you so much, Trinisha, for that. My co-host Christiana, do you have any question you would love to ask the host, the guest?
Yes, and that would be to Trinisha actually, because there was a point where she mentioned something like that, and that would be how do we actually um, authenticate the output of AI in a business? So, what are the measures that need to be put in place? What do we need to check? How do we check? How are we sure? Yes, and how can a business be safe around an AI? Thank you.
Thank you. I think just like bringing on any new staff member on board, you have to think about it in the same way. So how are you going to protect confidential information just like you would with a staff? Don't upload sensitive information such as client contracts or payroll data or safeguarding information, financial records. Um, you can redact a lot of that sensitive information to still give you the output that you need. Ensure that everything that you are deploying the AI to do has human oversight. I have parameters in my business where I have to approve everything that the AI does. It can't simply deploy and communicate externally unless I have set that protocol for it to do so, such as social media marketing and things like that. um, Looking at your AI policies and governance, just like any other policy that you would have in the business. So understanding which AI tools are approved in your business, what information can and cannot be entered, staff responsibilities with that and with the use of AI, and just ensuring that you have full transparency and trust internally and externally, and making sure that you communicate that always.
Great, but I know that there are so many business owners that want to use AI to reconcile their accounts, even work on their payrolls. So a lot of sensitive information actually go into AI. And you mentioned not actually putting in the sensitive information into AI. So how then do we actually work on this and work around this?
So I would say it's at the end of the day, for any founder or business owner, it's your decision in terms of how you would like AI deployed in your business. If you are comfortable, just like with the AI employee or the platform that you're using, with that being able to view that financial data in the same way that you connect systems, right? We connect QuickBooks or Zero to Stripe and other platforms, and they share data and things like that. So it's understanding what you're comfortable with in the way that it's connected, what data you actually want it to view, and if that's a decision that you make internally to say the value of me being able to provide certain financial data is helping better inform the decisions that I'm making so that I can be more strategic, more competitive, then that's something that you absolutely have a choice to do. As long as you're following GDPR and data protection, the Equalities Act, and any other legislation or law in whatever country you reside in, then it's entirely your choice.
All right, thank you so much for this amazing session. Right, we've come to the end of this session, and I want to use this medium to appreciate Okoyemi. Thank you, Trinishia, for breaking this down so clearly. All right, I've gained a lot of insights from this session. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us live. Right, and your questions made this what it was today. Right, so before you go, we have a community for founders and entrepreneurs called iFin Exchange. All right, so if you want to be part of this community, you can just go to ifinconnect.ai. So when you go to ifinconnect.ai, you are going to see under the menu section where we have Exchange. So join the community from there. It's so amazing to have founders like you in that kind of circle. It's just like Forbes BNK, right? Forbes BNK is for Black Africans, right? So you can also leverage this community to connect with other amazing founders like you, other amazing business owners like you. If you're also an employee, connect with other amazing employees like you that are actually harnessing AI, using AI in their work processes, and are doing very, very good at the moment, right? So if today gives you one idea, that is the best place to build on it, all right, with people doing the same thing just like you. And also, Opeyemi made mention of the fact that we have an AI solution called iFin One. All right, it is an amazing solution. You can check it out from ifinconnect.ai/one to book a demo for so that we can give you a brief insight on how it works. We can even give you 1 week free trial just to check it out, right? And then see the kind of output that you're going to generate from it. It's so great to have you in this session. We are going to be back next month, all right, same time, same energy. And this is the kind of program we host almost every week, all right, once in a month, also on LinkedIn Live, on YouTube Live. But if you want to gain first-hand information on how this really works, just join our community and you'll be the first person to get notification on this kind of program, this kind of amazing session. Until then, my name is Freedom, and this has been iFin Connect AI. So I want you all to take good care of yourself. Bye. Thank you so much for your time. And thank you so much,
Thank you.
guest, for honoring this invitation.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.